In the industrial heart of Birmingham, England, the late 1960s were dark, cold, and loud, the perfect birthplace for something heavy. Three friends, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, all working in the same factory during the day, bonded over their love of blues rock and shared dream of starting a band. Soon they were joined by a charismatic but troubled singer, Ozzy Osbourne. And so a band was born that would not just define a genre, but become its very essence. They called themselves Black Sabbath, a name that conjured images of fear and foreboding, much like the horror films that had a profound influence on Iommi's music. Their sound was unlike anything the world had heard. Slow, crushing guitar riffs that Iommi described as walking bass lines played on the top strings, pounding drums and lyrics that delved into darkness and social commentary. It was an assault on the senses and the perfect soundtrack for a generation on the brink. Their self-titled debut album in 1970 was a revelation. Tracks like Black Sabbath and N.I.B. showcased their ability to create atmosphere and evoke the occult. But it was their second album, Paranoid, released when the band was just 19 and 20 years old, that catapulted them to fame. With its iconic cover art depicting a monstrous hand holding a bloody meat cleaver, Paranoid was a societal nightmare given form. Hits like Iron Man, War Pigs, and the title track became anthems for a generation disillusioned by war, poverty, and political corruption. But success brought chaos. Ozzy's outlandish behavior, substance abuse, and erratic stage presence made headlines. His personal life became a tabloid nightmare. Meanwhile, tensions within the band escalated into fistfights. By 1977, Black Sabbath had become synonymous with heavy metal. But at what cost? The departure of Ozzy, Butler, and Ward seemed imminent. Iommi, determined to keep the band together, recruited new members, including former UFO vocalist Phil Mogg. But without the original lineup, something was missing. Their next few albums, while commercially successful, lacked the magic of their early work. By 1985, Black Sabbath had become a shadow of their former selves. Ozzy's return to the band was short-lived as his increasing erratic behavior and struggles with addiction led to his departure once again. Despite the turbulent history, Black Sabbath's impact was undeniable. They had pioneered a genre, and their influence on subsequent generations of musicians was immeasurable. Bands like Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer owe a debt to Black Sabbath, carrying the torch of heavy metal into the 80s and beyond. But the story doesn't end there. In 1997, Black Sabbath reunited with Ozzy for a performance at the Birmingham NEC. The set was electric, filled with the hits that had defined a generation. This marked a turning point. Black Sabbath began touring regularly, treating fans to a greatest hit set list that spanned their glory days. But it wasn't just nostalgia. Their live shows were powerful, dark, and intense, showcasing a band that refused to be confined by their own history. The late 90s and early 2000s saw Black Sabbath experiment with new material. Their 1999 album, Masters of Reality, was a return to form, showcasing the raw power that had made them legends. The follow-up, God is Dead, was even more audacious, featuring industrial and electronic influences. As the years passed, the band's sound evolved, incorporating elements of hard rock and heavy metal, yet always retaining their signature dark undertones. In 2017, Black Sabbath embarked on their final tour, The End. It was a celebration of a remarkable career and a chance to say goodbye. The tour was met with critical acclaim, cementing Black Sabbath's status as pioneers and innovators. Their final show at the Genting Arena in Birmingham was a particularly emotional affair. For the band and the crowd, it was the end of an era, but also a testament to the enduring power of their music. The true story of Black Sabbath is one of raw creativity, darkness, and resilience. Four men from the industrial heart of England who turned the shadows of their city into thunderous riffs, redefined the boundaries of rock music, and gave voice to a generation. In doing so, they created a legacy that continues to inspire, and a sound that will forever be synonymous with heavy metal.